Level 100347 coming out, Ronnie Mead. I'm in my 10th day. I'm having a little relax actually. It's probably, this is going to be. I'm not going to show you my face because there's no light in here, so I'm off the front camera. I'm just going to watch, so I'll get the light right. There's my feet. Hello, Phil. Um, yeah, Ronnie Mead, Occupy Eco. The Revolutionary Committee. I jest. Um, I'm going to talk about several things. I don't know how long this is going to go on for. I just wanted to say the first thing. I don't know. I wanted to pop up this one. This is my theme right today is the continuation of the one I came up with yesterday about the dick society we live in. Um, most people know it. They know it's a dick society, but the general opinion is there's not much to be done. We can't do much about it. It's going to be like that. You've got to get used to it. Well, um, okay. In getting used to it, I'm going to explain it too, and talk about it as much as I hate it for the rest of my fucking life until it changes. Okay. So get used to me, and then let me explain why it's so dick, because not many people do that. They just go, "Oh, it's dick." We know that, but you don't know how dick it is. You really don't know how dick it is, the society we live in. And here's one. It's to do with coffins, actually. My father recently died. Don't worry about that. Well, it doesn't need worrying about, right? He's dead. Plus, to be truthful, I wasn't that close to him. My sisters were, and the family was, but not me. But my middle sister told me yesterday had plans to bury him in a reed coffin, and um, because of the regulations, they weren't allowed to do so. Well, please, this is just one example of a dick society that you cannot bury your family member in a material that's not within the regulations. We're talking about sending someone off into a future spiritual life. Maybe he was an atheist, so he wouldn't have minded probably. But can you see the world we're living in? It is a bit George, right? Already, it's George. He had it written down, and we're now living in it because you go to the undertakers, you tell them what you want to do, and there's a whole pile of regulations. And I'm not getting political here. I'm calling. I'm saying any regulations. What politics generally does in this country is to complain to Europe about the regulations it's putting on. It doesn't complain about the regulations it gives people here because it's giving them. Um, we can complain as much as we like, but they don't hear us, just like Europe doesn't hear the British politicians when they go to Europe complaining about the regulations. Can you hear the paradox in all this? Can you hear it? It's just, the comedy. There's a comedy playing out. And if you're not laughing or on the back of your, the Alice of the world we live in, which creates the financial system, which it creates itself, which Einstein, right, was one of our intellectual heroes, would you call him? Genius, apparently, right? Thought, and I'm pretty much going to guarantee this, that the education system was pretty bad at the time he went through it. And in fact, would have hated the idea of being in a classroom listening to some of those bloody teachers. And um, his science, right, came through an experiential relationship with the world, not sitting in the classroom, I'm afraid, not doing. It had to be a part of the world you're living in, and all Einstein was someone actually doing that. That's all. What makes him a genius is that we don't allow most people to do that. We don't have anything like it, right? And that just adds another layer of Dick. You know, I know he said Dickens then, and if you want to look at London now, it's way Dickens again, because we've We've gone off the socialism we had at the beginning, early mid part of the Second World War. We've gone off that now. I can tell you, we are going Dickens again. It's coming back again. The rich really are raking it in now. We know this, and there's another thing. Ron, you're going to give you another one too. Okay, so I just had a conversation with someone. About the new herbal highs. Now, I can talk about this because I smoke the new herbal highs, and I'm kind of, if you like it, I'm a guinea pig. There's no science being done on them. They're sold in the high street as do not inhale, as incense, and they're legal, right? Or they've banned one of them apparently. But technology is way in advance of the legislation that comes on the back of it. We know that. So it's not going to catch up, not now. And so these things are going to be there now. That's the label, right? The label is do not inhale. That's all it says. Everybody knows that for smoking and for getting high, and hey, the high is substantial. It's more than skunk. It's the equivalent of an acid trip. Now he said, this friend of mine, he said apparently he's got some friend of his working in the mental institute. She said that there's more people coming in because of this stuff than ever before. The mental institution. Okay, right. Well, first of all, is that really surprising? I mean, really, is that really surprising? Is it? It's like the information really isn't there. It really could do with a book that goes with it. That explains what happens, because what happens is you actually get transported into another parallel universe. I can encapsulate it in that expression, a parallel universe, literally. Now, the first time you take it is with a bunch of kids, that all want to get high. You're going to be kind of like in a place that when you come out of, you're going to kind of be going, oh my God, is that legal? That's the one. Because these are strong stuff, right? And because the health system only deals with it at the point of problem, right, that it doesn't know about because there's no information. It's a mental problem. It becomes a mental problem. In other words, what we're doing is blaming the stuff again for the mental problems, right? This is a repeat of the one I was talking about yesterday, and to a large extent, that's true. We are blaming the stuff rather than the things around it which bring about the mental problems, right? The things around it in this case, the fact that actually, if it came with this information, if anyway people really knew how to have proper spiritual experiences using skunk or whatever hallucinogenic in a kind of more responsible way than just dicking out on a Saturday night. I'm going to do one on Saturday nights in London town, because I tell you, Newcastle's come down to London. I used to live in Newcastle and turn up there in a great coat midwinter, and Market Street, is it? I can't remember now. In the High Street, Newcastle, you get off the bus and it was snowing, right? Ice everywhere. And the women will be wearing the shortest skirts and the next to nothing on top, and running from pub to pub, and it was like -6 or 7 or 10. I mean, they didn't give a shit. They were out for the night. This was Saturday night. I mean, this is a Saturday night, right? This is what we do on a Saturday night: is go out for the night, because it's the night of the week in Britain. And it's like in London now. What's happened is that the north has come down to it, right? So Geordieland and the ways off Geordie are now central London, with a slight maybe a cocktail twist to it. You could call it that. Exotic. It's becoming exotic, but generally the length of the Saturday night skirt is the same as it was in Newcastle. And I was out, on the weekend a few weeks ago, and it was just to pop in to get a herbal high actually, and I noticed this was the night or the weekend of the year when there was 3 nights, and so basically we had Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night. So you could go for the whole three if you wanted, but generally two was. So I saw, in the afternoon, I saw plenty of action going on the periphery of London. So like in Elephant Castle, and and it was dressed differently from during the week. Let's put it that way. I can leave it to your imagination, but this is another point at the Dick, right? At Dick's Society, because everything happens, you know, on one night in the week for most young people, and the rest is just pure fucking hell because you have to, you're paying back you're paying back your loan from your education loan. You can't even get out of your parents because the rent's too high. There's not many jobs. You got to keep the job you've got because and you're so glad education's over because it's the biggest boring pants of your life apart from the friends you made. And do you get where I'm coming? The society is not Dick, right, in just one or two ways. It's a massive, massive, massive carbuncle on the face of everything we do. And unless it does, we are living. This is very George, right? Everything is George. Now, if you thought that, if you thought that, if you thought that George Orwell wrote 1984 for no reason at all, think again. Like, you have now the beginnings of true George, true 1984. It's like it's been there actually for a while. There's been someone behind with a kind of plan going on for a while, and you wouldn't know it from day to day. But if you can't put a man in a reed before he dies, you're in a sad way. Bye.